In a tiny village by a forbidden forest, there's a story about the whispering wish tree. They say it can make any wish come true, but only for someone with a good heart. Welcome to our fairy tale today, a story about magic hiding in the woods. Leela was a brave little girl who lived in a small wooden house at the edge of the village. She stayed with her grandpa, who loved her very much. The house was old, with creaky floors and a warm fireplace that crackled every night. But lately, things weren't so happy. Her grandpa was very sick, too weak to get out of bed. He'd lie there under a big blanket, his face pale, his voice soft. Leela would sit by his side, holding his hand, wishing she could make him better. One quiet night, everything changed. The full moon was huge and bright, lighting up the village like a silver lamp. Leela couldn't sleep. She sat by the window, looking out at the dark forest. Suddenly, she heard a strange whisper, like a voice carried on the wind, and stared at the dark trees. It said, soft and weird, making her heart beat fast. She listened again, and there it was, a faint call from the woods. She looked at her grandpa, still sleeping, and felt a spark of hope. Maybe this was a sign, something to help. Leela stood up, her mind racing. She grabbed her little lantern from the table. It glowed with a warm golden light. Everyone in the village had warned her never to go into the forest. But Leela didn't care. She wanted to save her grandpa. So, with a deep breath, she opened the door and stepped into the dark forest, her lantern shining the way. The forest was quiet at first, just the sound of leaves crunching under Leela's feet. She held her lantern tight, its light bouncing off the trees. Soon, she came to a wall of spiky bushes, tall and tangled. They scratched her cloak, but she pushed through, step by step. After a while, she heard water. She found a glowing river, sparkling like a million tiny stars. The water shimmered blue and gold, so pretty it took her breath away. Leela stepped carefully across some stones, her lantern swinging, lighting up the ripples. On the other side, the trees opened up, and there it was, the whispering wish tree. It was huge, taller than any tree she'd ever seen. Its trunk shone like crystal, sparkling in the moonlight. The leaves moved a little, glowing soft and bright, like they were alive. Leela walked closer, her eyes wide. The tree's light felt warm, like a hug. She could hear a soft hum from its roots, deep and calm. Then the leaves started to whisper, so quiet she had to lean in.
What do you want, little one?
Leela stopped, her lantern shaking in her hand. She didn't want gold or power like some people might. She thought of her grandpa's tired face, his weak smile. She wanted something special, something real. She took a deep breath, ready to speak. But then, everything changed. The forest turned dark, like a big shadow swallowed the moon. The tree's light got weak, flickering like a candle in the wind. A cold, scary breeze blew through, howling loud, making Leela's hair whip around her face. Out of the dark came shadowy creatures, tall and misty, with glowing red eyes. They floated around the tree, their shapes twisting like smoke. They hissed at Leela, their voices sharp and mean. Only a good heart can wish here, they said, trying to scare her away. Leela's legs shook. She felt so small next to them. Her lantern's light wobbled as the shadows got closer. But then she thought of her grandpa, her soft voice, her sick bed. She couldn't give up now. She squeezed her eyes shut, then opened them, standing tall. I want Grandpa to be well, she said, her voice loud and firm, cutting through the wind. The shadows froze, their red eyes blinking. Then, with a big whoosh, they vanished, like dust blown away. The tree's light came back, brighter than ever, filling the forest with warmth. After Leela's words, the tree shook, like it was happy to hear her. Its leaves rustled loud, and shiny gold dust started floating up. The dust sparkled like tiny stars, spinning in the air, lighting up the night around her. Leela watched, her mouth open in wonder. The gold dust flew higher and higher, making the sky glow. It swirled and danced, like magic carrying Leela's wish up to the stars. She held her lantern close, her heart pounding with hope. The forest felt alive, watching with her. Then, up in the sky, the dust turned into Grandpa's face. He was smiling, his eyes bright and healthy, just like Leela remembered from long ago. The picture glowed, so beautiful it made Leela's eyes water. She smiled big, knowing her wish was coming true. Leela turned back home, her steps light as the sun started to rise. The forest was quiet again, the tree shining far behind her. When she got to the house, it was morning. The story is done now. Leela stands at the forest's edge, looking at the magic tree one last time. The sun climbs higher, painting the sky with gold and pink. The tree still glows, a little light in the woods. Leela takes a deep breath, feeling the magic all around her. What would you wish for if you found this tree? Maybe something big, like flying, or something small, like a sunny day. The whispering wish tree listens to everyone with a good heart. Imagine standing there, what would you say? Tell me your wish in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed Leela's adventure, and subscribe so you can see more magic stories like this one. Thanks for watching, see you next time.